Hey, what's up? I'm Brian Fennell, also known as Bry Guy, and I have a show called Wine Unknown. So if you have any questions that you would like to get answered about wine, just click the link. It's going to send you to my inbox, and you just leave your message there.
That looks good. What's that?
It's Wine Unknown. Welcome to Wine Unknown. I'm your host. My name is Brian Fennell, also known as Bright Guy, and I'm a wine specialist. What does that even mean? Well, it means that I know a lot of information about wine, and I want to share that along with my passion with you guys. So no matter where you're at in your journey, no matter if it's the beginning, the middle, well, let's face it, there's no such thing as the end. This is the show for you. This episode is going to focus on another type of white wine. This time, we're going to dive into Sauvignon Blanc. Ooh, don't you just love how that rolls off the tip of your tongue? Sauvignon Blanc. It just sounds so great, right? Alright, so by the end of this episode, you should know what it is. You should know some of the places that it can come from, and also some of the delicious foods that you should have with it. Alright? So hopefully you have something in front of you, or if you're on a ride somewhere, just sit back and enjoy the episode, alright? Cheers. Let's get into it. Sauvignon Blanc is such a great white wine to me. Like, I really have an affinity for it just because it's so much that happens with it. Like, every time I have it, my mind is just blown. Like, every time I think that I know how the story is going to go and end, no, it always does the complete opposite. And that makes me question, like, dang, I thought I knew this. And that's why I love it, because it keeps you on your toes. The only thing that I can say that's consistent with Sauvignon Blanc are two flavors and aromas that you're going to get, which is grapefruit peel, or some kind of grapefruit like juice or flesh or whatever, and green bell pepper. Those are the only two things that remain consistent throughout all of the Sauvignon Blancs, at least that I've had. I don't think I had a Sauvignon Blanc where I didn't get at least one of the two aromas or flavors from there. I'm just going to say that. And I'm pretty happy with that. So, all right, let me just dial it back a little bit, right? Man, I remember the first time I had a Sauvignon Blanc, and it was actually a pairing. I was at this French restaurant with a group of my friends, it was a couple, you don't know them, it doesn't really matter, but they're all from different cultures. So we're at this French bistro, and we all just order like light bites so we can all just pick off each other's plate and whatnot like that. It's all sharing, it's family style, right? So the wine of choice was a Sauvignon Blanc. And I was so novice, like I don't know, I didn't know. I was so uncultured. I was just like, yeah, I'm cool with a Sauvignon Blanc. I don't know. I didn't know about the appellations or anything. This was real early. I was still just a craft cocktail bartender, that was trying to dabble into understanding wine a little bit, and throughout all your readings and anything you ever hear, you always hear people say, oh, you gotta have French wines with French food, or Italian wines. You just hear all that. So this is where I was starting, hanging with a different crowd. Oh my goodness. So so we're on our appetizers, and what was ordered was escargot. I did not know what escargot was at all. And we had a bottle of some kind of Sauvignon Blanc. I don't remember the producer, but it was from Sancerre. And I didn't know. I didn't know what Sancerre was, or I didn't know that was a thing. I thought that was the producer, and I was sitting there just like, what did I call it? Sincerely or something like that? I don't know. But I didn't say Sancerre. So of course all of them are just they're just gonna start clowning on me, and I'm cool with that. I'm fine, because I'm like, all right, I don't know anything. That's why we're here, So later on, I learned what escargot was, and I was just like, you know what? I was more like Simba in The Lion King, and I'm hanging out with what is it? Who is it? Timon, is it Timon? Whatever, the two, Timon and, whatever, Zumba. I can't even remember their names right now, but you guys know what I'm talking about. So once I learned that escargot were snails, the only thing I could say was Hakuna Matata, and here we go. And the escargot, it was so savory. It was so good. I never thought that, man, that a snail could taste like this. So now that has me looking at snails totally different. But I understand it's a little bit different anyway. But yes, like we're talking about like all of the dried herbs they use. We're talking about the type of sauce it was. It was a green sauce, so that was herbaceous. It was a really savory, like I like little thing, like I don't know, like little snail. But once you sat there and drank the Sancerre Sauvignon Blanc with it, it came together in unison. So you have the escargot as savory as can be, and then you have the Sancerre with all of this nice bright acidity, this ripe fruit. It had a lot of like minerality to it, but it also has herbaceousness. So now all of that is complementing everything. So now we're talking about something that's so layered as far as cooked herbs, dried herbs, and what would seem fresh herbs from the Sancerre. So now we're talking about a whole different level of complexity within this food pairing. And oh my goodness, my mind was just like, yep, I'm sold. I'm in this. And the beautiful thing is about all of it, the alcohol percentage on the wine was around 12%. So I'm at that time, I was still a craft cocktail bartender. So I understood flavors to a certain extent. And I was used to drinking distilled spirits or sipping on distilled spirits that are 80 proof. So, so I'm just like, oh man, this could be a long game for me. Man. So my mind was just blown into this world of like, that was my introduction to Sauvignon Blanc. And it just so happens to be a really nice Sancerre that went really well with this French cuisine, escargot. This is just something that they just do, So it's something light. So now I'm getting introduced to other people's culture. And I just fell in love. This is like, what is that? Love Jones, I think. It's like, why did I fall in love with hip hop? This was like that moment for me. And then after that, I never had a Sauvignon Blanc that tasted the same. I mean, similar, yeah, but then they all have way different experiences with them. Like, have you ever had Kim Crawford Sauvignon Blanc? Yeah. The green bottle, the one that I'm talking about. It's everywhere. That's a completely different experience than something from Sancerre. I can promise you this, right? All right, so Kim Crawford is from New Zealand. It used to be Marlborough. I'm not sure if they source the grapes from outside of there as well, because I don't think it says Marlborough anymore on it. I think it just says New Zealand. But anyway, Marlborough is a specific area in New Zealand, but we'll get into that a whole nother time. All right, now Kim Crawford from New Zealand tastes vastly different than a Sauvignon Blanc from Sancerre. So what to expect from just even in general, Sauvignon Blanc from New Zealand is the acidity is going to be a lot more abrasive. It's going to be in your face. It's like, whoa, yeah, all right. It woke me up. It woke me up. It's going to be like that. But you're going to get a whole lot more of that grapefruit, like peel, like that grapefruit juice. Like you're going to get more of that in your face. And the reason for that is because, I mean, it's still closer towards the equator, so it's a warmer climate, even though it's not really a warmer climate, like, because the maps don't do it any justice as far. Like, New Zealand is probably closer to, what is that cold? Antarctica. Yeah, closer towards Antarctica than Sancerre is towards the equator or the North Pole. But that's a whole nother thing, all right? But there's a clear difference. I love working in the hospitality industry, or I enjoyed working in a hospitality industry when I was there because, like, man, all of the people that I've met, they're just so creative. From the waitresses, the bartenders, who else? Who else? The line cooks, the chefs. Like, these are some of the most creative people you can ever come across, right? So one time after one of our shifts, like, we're talking about like 3 a.m., after we close up, it's just like, you guys still want to hang out? It's like, yeah, like we need to hang out too. So we go over to one of the people's homes, and they're so hospitable. They bring out a raw artichoke. I've never seen one in person at this time. I never seen one in person. I've only had the reference of artichoke from Chinar, which is a liqueur, that's based around the artichoke. So that's how I kind of got an idea of what an artichoke looks like and tastes like. So I'm still in my early years. I'm still in my early years at this time. So they were just like, you never seen this? I was like, no, I've never seen that. You just discovered that I just now learned what a leek was. Like, I've never seen a leek. I didn't know what a leek looked like, but now I do. And I can't wait to taste it. So we all laugh and whatnot. So they said, this is so simple. We're going to do something. All right, let's fire up the grill. So we're going to make grilled artichoke, because that's something you don't have to really like pay attention to. It's just something like we can sit there and have fun, converse and all of this. And then the leek is going, I mean, not the leek, the artichoke is going to break down and cook. It's kind of at your leisure kind of thing. We can still drink, the party can still go on, and it's not something that you have to really be present for. Oh my goodness. So they turned on the grill. They threw the artichoke on the grill, threw a little olive oil on it, and then that was it. They bring it out. They bring it out chopped up. Not like diced or anything, but it's still just like if you cut it in half, and then now you now you have like long strands of the artichoke, right? And they just drizzled a little bit more olive oil on it and did some fresh cracked black pepper and a pinch of salt. And then that was it. That was it. That was all. That was all. So I tasted it, and oh my goodness, the smokiness, the earthiness, still had its herbaceousness. I was just like, whoa, 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 whoa. Let me see what you got in your fridge. I want to try something. Open up the fridge, and you guessed it. You already know who was there. We all know. We all know who's at the party if it's a Sauvignon Blanc. We all know. Yes, it's Kim Crawford, right? Because we, as hospitality people, it's not a lot of money that we make, so we just get what's affordable. So that was right there, And back then, it wasn't $20 a bottle. Kim Crawford cost a lot less. So yes, get it. Bet. Now, this is something that we paired with the grilled artichoke, and oh my goodness gracious, talk about an amazing pairing. It just carried on because the Sauvignon Blanc is so herbaceous. Well, definitely from New Zealand, and the acidity is there. So now everything is just coming in unison. Definitely the smokiness, like, of the charred or the grilled artichoke. Now we're still playing with that savory because, like, structure is still structure across the board, no matter what. If it's structurally sound, it's going to work. Nah, whatever. We'll get into that later too. But yes, when I say something so simple can go so far, this was one of those moments. And then, while me being so young within the wine world, this was a badge because this is the moment when my peers, my coworkers were just like, "Whoa, this was really good. I didn't think this was gonna work. You know your stuff." And this start building the confidence for me to just go. So Sauvignon Blanc is dear to me because one, it did build confidence outside of myself and other people within me. But this is also New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc we're talking about, to just be able to have that in my wheelhouse because it's so readily available. Like everybody knows of a New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc. Like, geez. It's so amazing, right? I hope that you try it because it's so simple. Artichokes are so inexpensive and New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc is everywhere by the dozens. So if you have a grill, I promise you should just try it. You should just try it. Definitely this summer. It's going to be something different. You're going to expand your palate. You're going to expand on your flavor. Oh my goodness. Just do yourself a favor and just do that. Okay. Try it out. And while you try that out, make sure that you don't forget our Sauvignon Blancs here in America. Specifically California, right? There's this one kind of Sauvignon Blanc that I want to shine some light on, which is Fumé Blanc. Fumé Blanc is a Sauvignon Blanc that's paying homage to, I would say it that way. I'm going to say it a different way too, but paying homage to this small appellation in France of Pouilly-Fumé, where their Sauvignon Blancs are known for having a little bit of smokiness to it, like a small hint of Flint, So that's kind of what makes that the thing. So Robert Mondavi, we all see the names on all of the wine labels, takes up a lot of shelf space, has a lot of real estate in a lot of stores. One of his Sauvignon Blancs had a little bit of smokiness to it from putting it in a barrel. And being the opportunist that he is, or that his team is, came up with just like let's just call it Fumé to pay homage to the town that does this, but we'll call it Fumé Blanc because they're not going to like it if you call it what they call it, because it's like, yo, this is what we're known for. This is what we do. And then here we go. Another American sitting there appropriating. Essentially, that's what's happening, and it took off. It did take off because it's Robert Mondavi. So everybody's like, whatever he touches, he got the Midas touch, and it's so good. It is so good for the American palate. Now, when I say that, I mean it in not a disrespectful way. But it's more, you're going to get a lot less acidity because Cali is a warm area. So it's already going to have high in sugar. All right, so we'll get into that a little bit later. I know I keep on saying that, but we're going to put all this on talk. And then in later episodes, we'll dive really deep into it. But I just want to make you aware of this style of Sauvignon Blanc here in America. So it's a lot more fruit forward. So you're going to get a lot of that. And then it brings down the acidity and then you have some smokiness to it. This sounds like this is right up our alley, just think of cause we're known for barbecue. We're just known for grilling stuff, now smoking meats and whatnot. And so it has its place and it's going to be user friendly. This is definitely a good way to get into Sauvignon Blancs just in general, because you're going to get everything that you like and the things that you don't really know. You won't really taste it. It will have a little bit of bitterness to it because it touches some oak. So it's going to have a little bit of tannin, and that's where the smokiness comes from. But then it also adds a whole different layer where you're like, oh, okay, that's how I was. I was like, okay. And my experience with it, where this is so embarrassing, but early in this whole episode, if you can't tell, Sauvignon Blanc, I honed in on early. Because I felt like after I learned a little bit about it, I was like, okay, let me be consistent and let me dive into Sauvignon Blanc. So in my intro stage, that's where I was. And within that, I tried to impress this girl, right? Went on a date. Went to this nice, like, seafood place because, I know women love seafood. And she was like, I want lobster. Me, my pockets were just like, eat. Ooh. But, like, I was like, you know what? Whatever. I'm trying to impress. Whatever. Cool. So I think I had some oysters because I was trying to get the party started. Some oysters and probably some, oh yeah. It was the cold shrimp. It was cold shrimp and it was oysters and she just wanted lobster. So she just got that. And then we got some like toasted bread or whatever, tostadas, whatever it's called. We did that. And then I was just like, ooh, now would be a good time. Now would be a good time to pull out something like out of my back pocket, out of nowhere, like this is going to be cool. This is going to make the experience the experience. You like wine? Oh yeah, you do? What kind of wine? You like Sauvignon Blanc? Oh my gosh. I know about Sauvignon Blanc. I got to put you on, You know what I'm saying? Just like that. I got to put you on. All right, cool. So I order a Sauvignon Blanc, and of course, because it's an American, like, well-known, not well-known, but like, that has a good wine list, it's going to have Robert Mondavi on there. And they had the Robert Mondavi's, of course, Sauvignon Blanc or Fumé Blanc. So I was like, let me get that. I'll pay the inflation price just for this experience, And man, did it work? It was a great pairing on all the way around because of course it's going to work with seafood and shellfish. Like it's going to work with my oysters and my shrimp. But I wasn't sure about the lobster. I'm still iffy on lobster. I like lobster to me. It could be hit or miss, but she asked me if I wanted to. She was like, you want to try? This is good. I'm like, yeah, I want to try. So she shared it with me and I was like, whoa, it just complemented each other. Like, because of the warm climate in California, it doesn't ever get to that acidity that you would know it from the old world or from, the place in France where Fumé Blanc is like the thing. Pouilly Fumé is the thing. It doesn't get there. So this helps out a lot because of the seafood. The seafood still had the acidity. It wasn't grilled lobster. So all the acidity or all the acid was still in there. So it just bumped up everything that was in the wine. And the wine with all the tropical flavors made it taste like, oh snap, this stone fruit, like these peaches, these apricots, nectar, oh man, so many different things just all complemented. And it's just like, this is beautiful. This is a beautiful pairing. And she enjoyed herself. I enjoyed myself. We had a great time. It was a good vibe. And yeah, that was an experience that you can't forget, because it's trying something out. And then that also builds on confidence because not only like in the other story when I had the hospitality folks, boosting me up, giving me that confidence, like, yo, this worked. Now I have someone who doesn't know wine, that's a young lady that's just enjoying, the experience. I'm just like, whoa, oh my goodness, this right here is the vibe. This is the vibe. And I loved it. So confidence all the way up now. All the way up. All right, well, hopefully you had a good time listening to this episode, listening to some of the stories. Like I'm opening up a little bit, telling you about experiences. So there's a couple of things that I do know that you should walk away with. You should just know what Sauvignon Blanc is, right? You should also know a couple of the places where it comes from. And now there is some food ideas in your back pocket that you may want to try out sometime. But if you enjoyed this episode, please rate it, subscribe, leave a comment, like, share, tell anybody that you think would be interested in Wine Unknown. Once again, I'm your host, Bryant Fennell, also known as Bri Guy, and I can't wait to do next week with you. Should we make next week Chardonnay? I think we're going to do that. We're going to do Chardonnay next week, all right? Peace, love to hear from you. Ciao.